So now we'll talk about sales techniques, which are certainly everywhere in our lives. So the first technique is the "that's not all" technique, and you probably have heard it as "that's not all," which we all get pretty annoyed by when we hear the infomercials. And the point is that you feel like they're adding extra, so you think that the option is a really good deal. So for example, you can get too large and too many ShamWows. And you're like, well, okay, but no thank you. And then they say, but wait, there's more. And they say, right now, there's this special offer, and you can get a second set free and a bonus mop for the same price. And you're like, whoa, that's a really great deal. I'm getting even not just double what I would have gotten, but I'm getting double plus this mop. So that's a great deal. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And the research says that if they had made that initial offer for $20 with everything that they were actually including, you would be less likely to buy it because you're not going to be thinking about it as a deal versus if they say, well, this is the cost, but we're going to make you a deal and add these extra things in. So that's how the "that's not all" effect works. Door in the face happens when somebody makes a large request so that they can get to their actual interest of a smaller request. And this is a very common negotiating technique. So let's say these guys on the left are thinking, well, we really want 500 kilometers. So they say, we want 1,000 kilometers. And the negotiators on the right are like, no, we don't want to give you 1,000 kilometers. That's too much. So the negotiators on the left say, well, hey, we're reasonable people. How about 500 kilometers? And the negotiators on the right say, wow, they kind of cut their offer in half and made this really big concession for us. So, okay. And they agree on the deal. When originally the negotiators on the left only wanted 500 kilometers. So they got exactly what they wanted by actually asking for more than what they wanted. And that's door in the face. So I want to quickly remind you about cognitive dissonance. Once you commit to something, it's difficult to back out of that commitment. And these last two concepts are going to take advantage of cognitive dissonance to get people to agree to things that they actually didn't really want to agree to. So here's my example of foot in the door, which is when somebody makes a small request to get to the actual larger request. And I will never forget this because my brother really got me. So when I was younger, I am older than my brother, and he wanted to go to the mall. And so he said to me, hey, can you give me a ride to the mall? And I really didn't want to, but I was like, okay, I can give you a ride to the mall. But before we leave, he says, well, actually, I have this friend who's kind of on the way to the mall. Can you pick him up too? And I was like, I already kind of committed to taking him to the mall. And now I don't want to back out on that because I don't want to feel like I'm a person who backs out of my agreements, but I don't want to go to take his friend too, but it's on the way. So, okay. So then I was like, all right, I'll go pick up your friend too. And then he said, well, actually I have this second friend who is really close to my first friend. Can you pick him up too? And so my brother used foot in the door to get me to pick up his two friends and take all three of them to the mall, which is what he really wanted. And it still makes me bad. This happened like more than 10 years ago, and it still makes me bad thinking about it because he really got me. But that's foot in the door. So the lowball technique is pretty common. We see this a lot in car sales, and it's where you get somebody to commit to this fantastic deal, and then you start adding on expenses. So I'm going to show you a little comic. Read the comic, and when you're ready to talk about it, unpause the video. So what's happening is this green guy will experience cognitive dissonance if he backs out on this commitment because he's made a commitment, and now he's going to feel really awkward if he says, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And the salesperson knows this and takes advantage of this. And so the important thing to learn from this lecture is there are a lot of sales techniques that are based on social psychology. So now that you're aware of them, you can be prepared to defend against them. So in the last chapter, we talked about inoculation. I'm kind of inoculating you with these lectures. So I'm not necessarily preparing you for a specific argument that you're going to get, but I am preparing you for the types of arguments so that you know that you're likely to hear them and you're ready to say, you know what, I'm walking away. This isn't what I want.